guys, it's Megan. So last week I talked to you guys about teaching myself how to shop less, and I said that this week I will be doing teaching myself how to spend less. And the reason I wanted to keep these separate is because even though I am trying to really shop less, I still have problems with wanting to treat myself to things. So when I do shop, it's usually things that are more expensive, and I'm trying to get out of that. And this isn't just makeup or stuff like that. It's when I go out to dinner or when I have drinks and stuff like that, I will get one more than I normally would just because it's cool and fun, whatever, and I'll get the more expensive meal because that's what I want to get. And I'm unsure of how to go forward because I'm trying to obviously cut back on how much I shop and how much I consume as a consumer. But at the same time, other things that I do, like I've mentioned before, going to concerts and going out to dinner and doing stuff with my friends, those are all things that cost money, but there's different levels that you could spend by doing the same thing. At a concert you could get cheap seats or you could get expensive seats, and if you go out to dinner you could get a lobster or you could get chicken or something. And I'm trying to be more sensible because honestly I have never been a very sensible person with money before, and so this is a very new territory to me to say maybe you shouldn't do that. And so what I've been trying to do lately, as recently as yesterday when I went out with my friends, was before I even went, I decided what I was going to get. We were just going out for drinks, and I told myself I'm just gonna get one cider, and they didn't have my Stella cider that I love, which was really disappointing, so I got Angry Orchard. And everyone else got fancier drinks and appetizers and stuff, and I had just eaten, so I didn't need any food, which was awesome. So I just got my one cider, and it was only $6 in total. My whole bill was only $6 including tip. So that just made me feel awesome. I spent the same amount of time that they did with me, and I spent so much less than they did, but I still had as much fun as they did. So it was a really good learning lesson for me and really cool to have right before I filmed this video, because that's something I want to stress to you guys, because like I said, I've never been sensible with money, especially going out places. I've always been oh yeah, let's get everything that's fancy. This is me throwing my money around, and that's just how I have always been. That is what I think is fun. I like getting fancy things. I like getting fancy drinks and fancy food, and it's just fun to me. It's something I enjoy, but I realize that I don't need to spend exorbitant amounts of money to have fun. I can have the same amount of fun at the same place but not spend as much money. You can go to a fancy restaurant but not get the fanciest things on the menu and still really enjoy your time and enjoy the experience, but not spend hundreds of dollars or whatever. So trying to teach myself to spend less, I think, is harder than teaching myself to shop less. Shopping less, I mean, both of these are a very long process. Teaching myself to shop less has been a process I've been working on for quite a while, with different techniques no buys, low buys, stuff like that. And nothing has really worked until recently that, like I said last week, I've really tried to change my lifestyle with not including shopping in my normal routine. I don't go out shopping to shop. I'll go if I need to get something, and yeah, maybe I'll pick up a few more things, but before, I was going out with literally no purpose and buying stuff that I did not need at all. So it's very different now, and I'm very happy with how far I've come in terms of how much I shop and how much I want to shop. And like I said last week, I have really been itching to shop. It's been killing me because I don't know what it is, but I just really want to shop lately, and I have picked up a few things which you guys have already seen in my March favorites and recent purchases video, so you'll see what I bought then like throughout March, but it's not as much as I would have bought, like, say last March. I probably bought like way more last March than I did this March, but because I've been trying to shop less, having things to show as a recent purchases just feels a little weird, especially if they're not like completely necessities. So okay, this isn't even about this video, but teaching myself to spend less is very much related, obviously, to teaching myself to shop less, but they're very different to me. It's harder for me to say, no, you can't get like this extra thing, as opposed to, oh, you just can't get anything. It's easier to say like, oh, you can't have anything, than to be like, oh, well, I'll get this like less expensive thing, but I really want this more expensive thing. So I've always been the type of person, now that I have had a really great job, that I have disposable income, to treat myself and be like, oh, well, yeah, you can get that if that's what you want, get that. And I'm the only one that's controlling where my money is going, so I've always just allowed myself to get what I have wanted. And I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. It's really cool to be able to do that, but it's not the smartest thing at the stage in life that I am now. Maybe when I'm older and I have like all my debts paid off and stuff like that, it will be fine. But for now, I really shouldn't do that. I shouldn't be like, oh, well, you deserve it, even if I feel like I do. I still think that, like I said at the beginning of this video, I can have just as much fun without spending gobs of money. And another thing that I've been really trying to pay attention to more lately is buying things that do, so before I was talking about like going out and doing stuff, like trying not to spend as much as I used to. But in terms of material objects, I'm trying to buy things that are less expensive, that are just as good as more expensive things. And that's something that I never really considered before. Like I said, I would just get what I wanted, and I wouldn't really think about, oh, well, this less expensive thing is just as good, but maybe it doesn't have as great of a reputation or whatever. But now I'm trying to just really keep my options open and my mind open to other products. And for example, I purchased a new shampoo by Suave that is only $2, which is like crazy cheap. And my shampoo that I buy, the Giovanni, I think it's only $8, which isn't that expensive, especially compared to other shampoos. But when you can get one that's just as good for $2, get the $2 one. Like, that's a no-brainer. So that was really exciting to me, and I'm gonna be trying to do more like DIY stuff. Like, I bought the Bragg's apple cider vinegar and Aztec clay to make a purifying mask. That's been something I've really wanted to do, but I wouldn't allow myself to buy those ingredients until I finished up all my purifying masks, which I did. I'm so excited. They're all gone. And so now I purchased those ingredients on Amazon, and I'm gonna try out that mask. And getting those ingredients was like less than $20, and that's amazing. Like, to have however many masks that it's going to make for only $20, that's way less expensive than any of the other purifying masks that I have purchased in the past. And that's really exciting to me. And once I finish up all like my body scrubs, which I have quite a few, because once I used them all up last year, then I bought like 6. Crazy. So what I want to do once I use all those up is to make my own body scrub that I can also use like on my lips and stuff, which I do have a very simple, just sugar, oil, and a little bit of vanilla extract for like scent and flavor for my lips, but I want to make one for my body as well, so I'm not buying like $10 scrubs or even like $5 scrubs. You can really get awesome ingredients like just oil and some sort of exfoliant like sugar or salt, and make your own body scrubs. And that's what I want to think about now, is like, is this something that I'm using that I could make for way less expensive, or that I could buy from a less expensive retailer or a different brand that's just as good but less expensive? And honestly, that's not something that I thought of before. I would want a certain thing and I would just wait till that certain item went on sale, even if the sale price is still way more expensive than a comparable, less expensive item. So I'm trying to change my mindset on what is worth it, and I've definitely mentioned to you guys in the past that since I've been using up different foundations, I've been trying to think about, oh, is this foundation better than this one? Like a more expensive one compared to a less expensive. And seriously, none of my fancy foundations from like Guerlain or Chanel compare at all to the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte. It's just so much better to me, and it's way less expensive by like $50. It's less expensive. So that has been really exciting because I've realized that just because I like something, I really like the Chanel foundation, I really like the Guerlain, but if I really also like the L'Oreal, why would I splash out on a super, super expensive one when the less expensive makes me just as happy, if not a little bit happier? And I don't know, it's very interesting. I've mentioned this in so many videos, like it's just so interesting how much I have changed with my perspective on so many things in terms of money and in terms of how I'm spending my time in my life. And I don't know if it's because I am like in this weird adulthood stage that I'm like trying to figure out, like I feel like a kid yet supposedly I'm an adult with like responsibilities and stuff, but it's just so crazy. Like I never thought that I could change so much, and I guess when you're younger you think, oh, this is like how I am and how I'll always be, but you really change all the time, and it's so awesome like to change in a really positive way. And I've seen in you guys too that a lot of you have sent me messages and comments saying that you have really changed your habits, and I just think that's so exciting. Like you can change your habits at any stage in your life. If you're 50 and you're just realizing like, I don't want to have money control me, you can change. There's nothing stopping you other than yourself. And once I realized that about money, it really just opened my eyes and made me so much more self-aware. And I try to be self-aware in a lot of things now, especially now that I've had different life experiences and stuff, but I never really was super aware about my own spending habits, and I'm really excited that I am now because it's a little hard to admit to yourself. It's very hard to admit to yourself at the beginning to tell yourself like what you're doing is not what you want to be doing, even if it's a temporary happiness that you get from purchasing things. It's not a sustainable emotion, and it's not something like continuing to consume and buy things all the time will not make you happier. You're just always buying because you want something better and you want to be happier, but it's never happening. And to me, like saving my money, and I posted this awesome picture on Instagram that I found that said, when you see a comma in your bank account and it's like this awesome lady like sitting back with her like fur jacket, and she's like, yeah, that is how I feel every time I look at my savings and I see that saved up money that I have worked really hard to save. And it's so rewarding, and it's so much more rewarding than having a giant makeup collection or a giant closet full of awesome clothes. It's really awesome, and you can still have an awesome makeup collection and an awesome closet, and everything you want, you can have it. But if you save money too, you'll just get so much happiness out of that, and knowing that you have that security blanket is so amazing. Like I can't even explain it to you, and I hope that this is convincing you to save your money, because it's such an amazing feeling. And I seriously wish that when I was younger I saved my money more, because who knows how much money I would have now to fall back on. But I'm just really happy that I figured it out, and I'm at this point now, and I know that the harder I work and the more I think about this and I talk to you guys about this and you guys give me such amazing inspiration and support and feedback, I know that I will just be more and more motivated to stay on the right track and to just be better and better about how I spend my money and how I save it and eventually invest it. And soon at the end of this month, I will have my 401k, which is really exciting. So I can't wait to take that journey and see how that goes. And I'm just so excited about all my savings. It's like crazy. And in hauls, I wish I could be like, why did I go back in time and like not do those hauls? Because I wish I could tell myself in the past, like, you don't need that stuff. Like, half of it you didn't even like anyway. And it's just kind of sad yet funny to look back on my hauls and notice how much that I just wanted and purchased all the time. And I'm trying not to be like that, like really, really trying not to be like that, because that is what I conditioned myself to desire, was more and more and more stuff. And so now that I see how much happier I am not doing that and not constantly buying stuff, it's so refreshing, and it just makes life so much better, and so you feel so free. And that's really the only way I can describe it, is you just feel so powerful and so free and not chained down to anything. And I know that I'll feel way better once I pay off my student loans, and that's a long time coming, but I am really working hard. And one of you guys in one of my videos said if you pay like payments before they're due, which I always pretty much paid like way ahead, so I'm always ahead of my payments, but if you pay them like as soon as you get your paycheck, for example, which is before it's due, so if you pay like twice in a month, you'll save on interest. So I've loved that tip. I have used it, and so in March will be my second time doing that, and I just love that. So I've been paying them twice a month now, and I'm paying the same amount that I was before, but just splitting it into what I was putting into my savings. Like I told you guys, I would put in my savings and then take it out to pay, but I'm just putting it straight towards my payment instead of like transferring it twice. So that was an awesome tip. I've done that a lot with my credit card, like just paying it when I had like a payment to do, like way before the payment was due. But I didn't think of that with my student loan. So I really love that tip, and I highly recommend it for any of you guys who are also trying to pay off student loans. Just pay it every time you get paid, and then you'll always be ahead. And it's really awesome if we can save on interest, because student loan interest is crazy. It's so annoying. Like tax and interest and all this stuff just makes me so mad. But I guess that's how the world is, which sucks. But I don't know. This video wasn't even about how I'm teaching myself to spend less, like barely at all. But so I'm just trying to go out and still have fun, but be more sensible about what I am purchasing when I go out. Like, have one drink, have like one awesome drink, and then you're not having to worry about all the crazy things that might happen if you like go crazy and get wasted. And so just get the minimal things that you need when you're going out to dinner, but have fun, treat yourself a little bit, but not so much like I used to. And then also to find less expensive alternatives to products that I use all the time. So make stuff myself, and then also find like drugstore things, or even like there's so many different price levels of stuff. Like within the drugstore, there's like more expensive like Physicians Formula, then there's like Revlon, and then there's like, what is that, Wet n Wild? Like you could get so many different price levels at just the drugstore. Same with Sephora. There's like fancy Guerlain, and then there's like Urban Decay, and then there's like Sephora brands. So just look around and keep your mind open, and that has really helped me, and I have a long way to go with that, but that is something that I'm really trying to work on, to teach myself that I don't need the fanciest thing to get a result or having a really nice product. I don't need a $50 product when a $10 or a $5 product does the same thing. So those are just some things that I've been thinking about in terms of money, and I'm so glad that you guys are still loving these videos. I get comments and messages that make me so excited and just keep, like I said, keep me motivated for not only my personal like finance journey, but for sharing it with you guys. And it's something that I wish more people would talk about, because it is something that once you start thinking about it all the time and hearing people talk about it, it's so inspiring and so encouraging that anyone can do it. It's not just a young person or a middle-aged person or a mom or a dad or a grandparent. Like, anyone can learn to do this, and you can be 13, and that is amazing. If you are on this path already at a young age, like, that is crazy amazing. So I just really appreciate you guys sharing your stories with me, and I'm so thankful that you love these videos too, because I have just gotten so much out of doing these videos for you guys, and just for myself. It has been so eye-opening in a lot of ways, and I just love it. So thank you guys so much for everything. I just love you guys so much, and I really appreciate your time hanging out with me today. So I hope you guys are having an awesome week, and I will see you guys soon. Bye!